if I told you that the way you've been taught to learn is as outdated as Blockbuster Video, floppy disk, and dial-up internet? Our grandparents lived in a totally different world, yet we're still using the same education system that they used. But times have changed, and if you're not adapting, then you're falling behind. In this video, I want to show you how to adapt, evolve, and thrive in this new digital age. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and I'm the author of The Happiness Blueprint for Young Adults. How to avoid a life of regret by using your natural personality as a guide. And if you want to avoid a life of regret, you'll have to learn your personality, and you'll also have to learn how to generate an income using all the technology that we have at our fingertips. I want to talk about 3 different moments in time and compare it to our present time and show you the trends and patterns and how all of this stuff works and how you can take advantage of it. First, let's talk about the agricultural age of the 1600s. Back then, work and learning was physical. There was no public schools. Most people were farmers, or they had some type of skill like building tools, building houses, making clothes. People learned by taking action, not by sitting in the classroom. There were no factories back then, so people would trade food and favors for skills and resources. And people got the education passed down from their family. For example, if one family knew how to make clothing, then they might barter with another family who makes tools, for like a blacksmith. And another family might specialize in building houses. So your education and your learning and your trade was passed down to you from your family. Next, let's talk about the industrial age of the 1700s. By this time, factories are being built, and factories need workers, and workers need to be trained. How do you train the workers? Here comes the advent of the public school system. The public school system was meant to train up a population for the workforce, and this is where the term workforce readiness comes from. How do you know if you're ready for the workforce? Well, if you can sit down, shut up, follow orders, and memorize stuff, then you're ready for the workforce. Does that sound familiar? Ain't that what they tell you in school? Sit down, shut up, pay attention, memorize so you can take the test? That's what I was told when I was coming up in school. And if you were the type of person who it was difficult to sit down and shut up, let's say you have ADHD or you have some issue. Not to say that people don't have issues, but a lot of times everything ain't for everybody. Everybody is not meant to sit down and be still and take orders and go with the flow. Some people are meant to blaze a trail. Some people are meant to be innovative. Don't judge a fish by his ability to climb a tree because he's not made for that. Why are you judging the child by his ability or his inability to not sit still and be quiet for 4, 5, 8 hours a day? They're not made for that. The old world was designed to create workers and not thinkers. People were influenced to be robots, to just follow orders. But now we have robots. Robots can follow orders. So you don't need people to follow orders. Now you got robots to follow orders. So a lot of people are falling behind because they take out the human element. You have to be able to be a thinker and be innovative and set yourself apart from robots. Robots follow orders. So why do they need you? And this brings us to the current time. In the 1940s, where the first computers were made in World War II to decrypt encrypted messages. Now, let's take a pause. Consider this. It took 200 years from the first factories in the public school system up until the internet. 200 years. But the internet has only been around from the 1980s up until the present day, 2025. It's been exponential growth. Things have changed so rapidly in the last 40, 50 years, and humans can't keep up. I remember a time before Google, before YouTube, before Facebook, Instagram. I remember a time before cell phones, and I'm only 37. I know people who still can't even type. People my age, they can't even type. They don't even have a computer. So how are you going to keep up with the changing world? If you want to thrive in the current world, you have to catch up and keep up with the ever-evolving technology. Now, you might be able to do things the old way. You can survive, but you won't thrive. In order to thrive, you have to be a self-learner. You have to be a lifelong learner, because the things that you know now, in 2 years, it's going to be totally different. The old way of doing things is obsolete. The internet has made information free and abundant. All knowledge can be found online. If there's anything that you want to learn, you can find it online for free or cheap compared to traditional university. You got YouTube University. You can go learn on Udemy. You can learn on Skillshare. There's plenty of ways to learn whatever it is that you want to learn quickly. You don't have to go through 4 years to learn what you're trying to learn. For example, when I went to trade school, it was a 15-month program for automotive technology. When I finally graduated, I went to go get a job. The managers laughed at me. They said, "You went to Lincoln Tech? Why did you go to Lincoln Tech?" I didn't know that I could have just learned how to fix cars. I could have learned about cars and just passed the ASE certification. I could have got certified, ASE certified in brakes, ASE certified in steering and suspension, ASE certified in exhaust. And I could have did that on my own in a short period of time. So how can you take all this information and use it today? One of the most effective ways to learn is to do. So I would suggest, whatever field of study you're going into, have a passion project or a side hustle. Some people go to college for business. They spend $100,000 on a business degree and only come out making $40,000. You could have took that money and started a real business and learned through implementation, learn through action. So that's what I recommend you do. Have a passion project where you work on this thing and you build up your skills and knowledge through experience. Also, see if there's some type of certification for whatever it is that you're trying to do. And find out if you can find a mentor or a apprenticeship. Even like entrepreneur, there's no school for entrepreneur, is it? You could be an entrepreneur apprentice. Follow an entrepreneur around and see how they work, see how they move. What type of systems do they use? Most successful people are self-taught. You look at a lot of millionaires, either they never went to college at all or they were college dropouts. And I'm not saying that I don't have a problem with college, but once again, everything ain't for everybody. If you want to be an open heart surgeon, then yes, you might want to go to college to learn open heart surgery. You're not going to learn open heart surgery on YouTube. If you do, I don't want you working on my heart. So what is the key takeaway? The key takeaway is that the smartest people in life are not waiting for permission to learn. They go out and learn on their own. Self-motivated, self-made, self-taught. You have all the information at your fingertips. If you're watching this video right now on YouTube, whatever you're trying to learn, type it in the search bar. There's somebody who's teaching what you're trying to learn. Now, here are your action steps. Here is how you can take control of your own education. First things first is to pick a career that aligns with your nature. If you don't know what is your nature, then I suggest you take the free personality test in my book. Once you know what is your personality type, choose a career that your type is strong in. I created a graphic that illustrates the best careers for each type. If you want to get your hands on it, just click the link down below or comment the word clarity down in the comments. Another thing you can do is join communities and networks that's based around that field of study. A lot of time it's not what you know, but who you know. When you learn a new thing, apply that new knowledge immediately. Practice, test, build, have a passion project, have a side hustle. And I want to encourage you to create more than you consume. The fastest way to learn is to do. I want to leave you with this. The current education system was built for a world that no longer exists. If you're waiting for a degree to give you permission to succeed, you already left behind. The future belongs to those who take learning into their own hands. So what will you do? Will you continue to follow an old, outdated system, or will you create your own path?